Hey there, class. Welcome to week 2 of Gaming Club. I wanted to make another video this week going over passwords. Passwords, they sound like a simple thing, but they are quite important for account security for, well, obvious reasons. It's similar to giving someone a key to your house. You don't want anyone just busting in and messing with your things. And so it goes forth the same with online security. For example, Instagram or most social media that people are so invested in nowadays. So I made a PowerPoint this week to hopefully make things a little more interesting. And here we go. Gaming Club Week 2 Passwords. What is the difference between a strong password and a weak password? What is a password? Definition. A password is a string of characters that allows access to a computer system or service. Characters is the important word in this sentence, and it is a computer term that means a character in computer terms is a number, for example, 1, a letter, F, or a special symbol such as like a dollar sign or an exclamation mark. Characteristics of a weak password. Short length, uses common words or phrases such as cat in the hat, uses all or part of your username, or it uses personal information such as your name or where you live. Personal information is a huge thing about account security that I'm going to go into coming up. Weak passwords part 2. The length of a password is one of the most important factors. A basic way that someone trying to break into your account will use is a method called brute forcing, or when you repeatedly attempt to log into a service until you succeed. A shorter password requires less guesses for the computer to brute force through, resulting in easier access. Personal information is also another big point. Many things are recorded online through social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. These sources add up over time and they create almost like a paper trail. And someone who's determined can collect and gather this information over time and use that to try and steal your identity, log into your accounts, or just cause general trouble. This becomes really dangerous later on because as a young person, you all are in a couple years will be start like you might get a bank account or things like that, and someone busting into your account is really bad. Account security is important to protect you from threats on the internet, but also people you may know. For example, a friend of yours who's mad at you may try and get into one of your social media accounts and cause trouble. And moving on to strong passwords. What makes a strong password? Strong passwords are bundles of letters or words that are random. And the biggest thing that helps a lot is length. So, for example, a standard password nowadays is 12 characters, one uppercase, one lowercase, and a symbol. These passwords, the problem with them is they're hard for people to remember, but they're also very easy for computers to guess because they follow that standard. So over the years, companies have trained, for lack of a better word, people to use these examples of these passwords that just really aren't that good. One, they're easy for computers to get into, and two, they're hard for people to remember. So a really good password that I came up with just randomly is potato nightclub battery quark. What makes this so difficult for a computer to break into is it's long. Another thing is it doesn't make logical sense. For example, if someone used the password the cat in the hat, that's while it is a longer password and it has a bunch of words in it, it's a common phrase. And these common phrases are something you want to try and avoid. Another thing is each word is a different length. That's another thing. Each part of a password that kind of breaks the mold and is different from usual standards makes it harder because the computer has to try and guess what those changes are. And like I said earlier, it doesn't follow the traditional standard. And the best part about passwords like this is while it's strong and difficult to break for a computer, it's quite easy for the user to remember. So keep that in mind for when you're making passwords. Avoid using your username. Avoid using personal information. Try and come up with a random group of words that you can remember, but will make it hard for a computer to guess. The next part that I want to talk about is called two-factor authentication, or 2FA for short. Some of you may have actually used it even before now. 2FA is being built into more and more services, and an example of it is when you try and log into an account and you get an email saying, hey, if you want to log in, you have to click on this link. That's an example of two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication provides an additional layer of protection on an account and is invaluable since we interact with so many online services every day. I highly recommend setting it up, especially if you're big into gaming, because accounts get stolen every day. And something like this will help protect you. 2FA is valuable because it requires active participation on your end before the login process is complete. So, an example that I came up with is Joe from Montana wants to try and steal your Minecraft account. Say he somehow guesses your password, and then he logs in. The problem is while he may have gotten through that hurdle, if you have two-factor enabled, it'll ask him for a short code that only your phone will have. And while it can be worked around and people are sneaky like that, this is something that helps protect the average user, which is really important. So, a example of a two-factor program, the one that I like to use the most is called Google Authenticator. It can be found on the App Store for both iPhone and Android. The app is free and provides backup codes in case you ever lose your phone. It's something I use for all my gaming accounts and has saved me a lot of headache. And I wanted to thank all of you guys for watching my videos, and I hope they have been helpful. I look forward to seeing you all in Minecraft. Each week we're trying to do different builds. For example, this coming week I'd like to build up an arena or maybe even recreate your houses. So let me know what you guys think. If you come up with any ideas, I'm more than happy to try and put it in. Thank you.